Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide, and today I'm gonna do another check, or basically check in and a report to you guys on the status of the Supernote A5X2. Where are we, what's going on, and some of my takes on this whole thing. So what's going on with the Supernote A5X2? The release date has been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. There is communication, there is stuff, but there's no clarification of what is happening. Why did this take such a long time? So let me first clarify what new information we have. So my last video, I was covering their announcement and the first showing of the A5X2 and all of that kind of stuff, right? And since then, practically we've had no real meaningful information unless you actually are a member of the Reddit community, and then you would have seen 26 days ago from the recording of this video that they've had one big announcement, and since then basically kind of radio silence, which they've also explained in this post. They are, of course, apologizing for the repeated delays of the A5X2. Supernote is currently going through one of the most difficult periods in its history. It's not due to financial difficulties caused by stock shortages or the significant challenges and setbacks encountered during development. Which basically means doesn't mean that we don't have those issues. It just means that, yes, they do have financial difficulties caused by stock shortages, and that they have significant challenges and setbacks encountered during the development. But they are prioritizing that out of all of these challenges, it's because an issue of trust has emerged between us and our users. Which is a nice sentiment, but it's not something that can possibly resonate fully when you actually take into consideration the entirety of the message here. So right next they say, we have no intention of attracting users by periodically releasing false shipping dates, nor do we wish to to dangle a carrot in front of them. If there is a carrot that seems within reach, it is not one we've hung in front of our users. I disagree with this simply because that's an incorrect statement. You can't really say the estimated date is, and people should expect that the Supernote A5X2 is coming out in September, and not expect people to get kind of excited about that. You can't really release new information and first images and videos of the device also coinciding with that September, and not expect users to actually take that as affirmative signals or action that yes, indeed, things are moving along as you've mentioned to the users previously. I get it, but doesn't really resonate as a fully honest type of reflection on the situation itself. It's one that has been placed in front of us, the carrot. Every time we think we're about to grab it, we trip and fall. When we look up, the carrot has moved a few steps further away. We receive hundreds of emails a day from users asking, have you caught it yet? Just 3 more steps. Why haven't you caught it yet? Another 3 steps. Nice and poetic, it's fine how it's written, but it doesn't really address the more important issue, which is why is it taking so long to basically take the motherboard and the battery, the whole heart of a device, along with its software, and plug it into a new hardware chassis that all it needs to do is house the new screen, right? That's pretty much it. And yes, it needs to be able to open it up and close it. I think that it's not unreasonable from users and extremely patient potential customers to actually ask these questions, because something doesn't make sense here. It's very difficult to find an objective, real reason for this product to have so many delays and so many setbacks. So that tells me that there could be a problem with the lack of vision inside of the company itself, maybe a problem with too many cooks, you know, spoiling the stew, and maybe not a clear-cut idea of what they wanted. So the only way that this whole situation makes sense to me, honestly, it seems like they wanted to do too much with the A5X2, and they maybe wanted to overcomplicate it, where all the users wanted essentially was an A5 version of the A6 Nomad. And that's not what we're getting. So they continue saying, before the A5X2 launches, we do not intend to explain the difficulties we've encountered with these repeated delays. Why not? It doesn't have to be in detail or anything like that, but it should at least address what's going on. We should also reflect on our mistaken business strategy, which I think maybe was not their decision. What I suspect happened here was, you know, connecting the dots here, which is not something that you should be able to, it's not something that you should be forced to do if there's transparency. So they're talking about transparency, yet you have to read between the lines and connect the dots. So what this reads to me as like mistaking business strategy. Majority of people would say, and I would also incline to go like, it's such a bad strategy to have stopped the sales and production of A5X. But we do have one here, which is caused by stock shortages. So it's extremely likely and easy to imagine a scenario where the A5X, which used very old, very old components, simply there were no more components in stock that they could obtain for further production of A5X. And that basically the stock of those old components that they relied upon ran out. And they didn't intentionally stop producing Supernote A5X, but I really seriously suspect that this is what happened, that they ran out of stock of those old SoCs and they were unable to produce more Supernote A5X units, because no company in their right mind would willingly choose to do this knowing that they will have delays and difficulties and that their next replacement product is not ready. So that's what I personally think may have happened. Their take on mistaken business strategy is, which involved being overly transparent and prematurely disclosing our hardware development plans. I don't buy that, honestly. I just being completely honest, I don't buy that. Hardware development is highly uncertain, especially when pursuing some unprecedented goals. What are the unprecedented goals that the A5X2 is offering? I would get it if it had some completely revolutionary things in play, but from what we've seen so far, it doesn't. We thought that we could foresee everything, but in reality we cannot. Of course, no plan survives the contact with the enemy, in this case the enemy being reality. We not only overestimated our abilities, which is a problem, but also underestimated our human flaws. Whoa, that, yeah. Engineers tend to be optimistic. Without this optimism, we wouldn't attempt things that others haven't done. However, this optimism has also led us to underestimate potential risks. The appropriate approach should be to announce when it's done rather than revealing our plans in advance. Sure, then you're dealing with a hard launch, which carries its own sets of challenges, and the Supernote A6X2 was an excellent product, excellently designed and excellently launched. So we didn't have those issues surface or rear their heads in the A6X2. So again, I go back to my original question, is like, what went wrong with the A5X2? That's the part that we're missing some crucial bits of information here that are simply not, there's no transparency there, which I don't honestly expect that, because that's obviously internal stuff. Now we are closer to the carrot. We released some videos of the actual device a week ago. In this month we completed the first small batch of trial production. Okay, cool. However, this quantity is not enough to meet the backlog of orders. We need to replenish our inventory. Okay, so apparently Supernote A5X2 is finished, but they're now doing the logistical stuff, maybe. Due to the long holiday in Chinese factories in early October, we will be filling up our inventory stock after the holiday. This time we will not offer pre-orders. Our goal is to have products ready for delivery. All right, so that's my take and an updated report on the status of the A5X2, because I know a lot of people are waiting and have been patiently and anxiously awaiting for the A5X2, but unfortunately here we are end of October, or by the time when this video is scheduled and comes out, might as well be early November, and the situation hasn't changed. I wouldn't be surprised that my timing has been such in some instances that I would record a video, schedule it, and then like a day before the video comes out or something, a big announcement comes out. So it might as well happen that by the time this video comes out, we've had like surprising announcements from Supernote regarding, you know, positive or negative, or just some announcements regarding the A5X2, but I'm just saying, like, at the time of recording this video, that's how it is. But I also wanted to add one other aspect, and that is the perspective of where A5X2 would fit into the current ecosystem of e-ink devices. I think that they have a difficult situation here, but also a very narrow window where they and only they can slot in, because nobody has managed to fill in the void of the A5X2 missing in the lineup of devices. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that we've gotten new devices from books which are always going to do the same thing, so they are never going to encroach on that basically slot that only A5X2 can fulfill, which is Supernote functionalities and convenience and distraction-free functionalities, yet power and flexibility of the Supernote platform, but in an A5 format with 300 ppi. That's what the A5X2 is supposed to be, right? So books can't do it. Kindle, no, nope. And then we only had the Remarkable that it potentially could encroach on that, because you do have this kind of overlap here and there between Remarkable and the Supernote. And when Remarkable Paper Pro came out, that was the opportunity for the Remarkable to actually not just launch a new hardware that they've worked on, but to basically have been able to see an equal amount of effort and dedication that the hardware team of the Remarkable was exerting and doing in order to bring the what Remarkable Paper Pro is to reality. I think that if we've seen like a half of effort and success from the software side of things in Remarkable, that Remarkable would have been able to fill that void of Supernote A5X2 missing from the market very easily. But they didn't. And that is where the Rata team and the Supernote A5X2 still has potential and an opportunity to find a strong footing in the market. It's a narrow place, and more they wait, more it's narrowing down, because we have all of these new things coming out. So the area where A5X2 can firmly hold its place in the market is still there, but it is narrowing down. So I hope, I really sincerely hope, that the Supernote team is able to actually wrap up whatever it is that they're doing and get a firm grip on the difficulties that they've had, learn from it, and kind of get on it, and that they can do a good launch of Supernote A5X2 sooner rather than later. At some point, somebody will come out with the missing features that other platforms don't have, that Supernote is actually offering, which makes it stand out. And then Supernote will have a genuine problem if they haven't placed their new product firmly on the market by that time. I think that there's plenty of reasons still to be excited about the Supernote A5X2 for coming out, because it does genuinely bring unique things and uniquely useful things and powerful things to the market that you simply can't find on the competitors yet. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think, what your sentiments are, and do you, what your kind of opinion is regarding this whole thing. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!